Welcome back to Infinity Storybook. Today, we are diving into one of the most raw and powerful memoirs ever written, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. David Goggins is a retired Navy SEAL and ultra-endurance athlete, often called the toughest man alive. But he wasn't born a superhero. He grew up in a world of domestic violence, poverty, and learning disabilities. At one point, he was nearly 300 pounds, working a dead-end job and completely broken. This book is the blueprint of how he went to war with his own mind to transform from a nobody into an unbreakable warrior. Let's get into the summary. Mastering the Inner Warrior. 1. The Accountability Mirror. Facing the Brutal Truth. Goggins' transformation didn't start with a gym membership. It started in front of a mirror. He realized that the biggest lie we tell is the one we tell ourselves to feel better. To change, he created the accountability mirror. He would shave his head, look himself in the eye, and call himself out. If he was fat, he didn't say, "I'm curvy." He said, "You are fat." If he was lazy, he admitted it. He taped Post-it notes to the mirror with his goals and his insecurities. This wasn't about positive vibes, it was about total ownership. Every morning and every night, he had to look at those notes. By facing his reflection, he stopped blaming his past or his environment. He realized that if he was the one who let his life fall apart, he was the only one who could pull it back together. The lesson is simple. You cannot fix a problem you refuse to acknowledge. 2. The 40% rule. Bypassing the governor. The most famous concept in the book is the 40% rule. Goggins explains that our brains are hardwired to protect us. Just like a car has a governor to prevent the engine from over-revving, your brain has a safety switch. When you start to feel pain, exhaustion, or fear, your brain screams at you to stop to keep you safe. But Goggins argues that when your mind says you're done, you've actually only used 40% of your true capability. There is a massive 60% reserve of strength, focus, and endurance waiting behind that wall of pain. To find greatness, you have to lean into the suffering and prove to your brain that you aren't going to die. Every time you push past that quit point, you recalibrate your baseline for what is possible. 3. The cookie jar. Fueling the fire in dark times. When things get truly dark, like when Goggins was running a 100-mile race with broken bones in his feet, he uses a tool called the cookie jar. This is a mental filing cabinet where you store every single victory you've ever had. Not just the big trophies, but the small wins. The time you studied when you were exhausted, the time you stood up to a bully, or the time you survived a personal tragedy. When you're in the middle of a suckfest and your mind is begging you to quit, you reach into the jar and pull out a cookie. You remind yourself, "I've survived before, and I will survive this." It's about using your past endurance as a source of energy for your current struggle. 4. Taking souls. Dominating your competition. Taking souls is a psychological tactic Goggins used during Navy SEAL Hell Week. It's about being so prepared and so resilient that you outwork everyone around you, including the people trying to break you. During training, while his instructors were trying to make the students quit, Goggins would smile and ask for more. By showing that the hardship wasn't breaking him, he was taking the souls of his instructors. He was getting inside their heads. You can apply this to your life. When your boss or your competition thinks they have you cornered, you work harder. You show them that their best shot didn't even make you flinch. You become the one in control of the environment. 5. The Calloused Mind. Discipline over motivation. Goggins preaches the importance of a calloused mind. You don't get tough hands by sitting on a couch. You get them through friction and hard work. The same is true for your brain. Goggins believes motivation is garbage because it comes and goes. What you need is discipline. He advocates for doing something you hate every single day. If you hate the cold, take a cold shower. If you hate running, go for a jog in the rain. By intentionally seeking out discomfort, you callous your mind. You build an internal armor that makes you unshakable when life hits you with real tragedy. You don't wait for the sun to shine to get to work. You work because it's who you are. David Goggins proves that your limits are just illusions created by your own mind. You have a reserve of power inside you that you haven't even touched yet. Stop making excuses, face your reflection, and start callousing your mind today. If this summary inspired you, please like, comment, and subscribe to Infinity Storybook. It helps us bring more life-changing books to you. Tell me in the comments, what is one thing you're going to do today that you absolutely hate doing? Stay hard.